Okay, for the next project, you guys are going to make a vehicle of your own, and it's going to be very similar to what we did with the Flintstones car. But I did want to show you a few things that might make things a little easier. Well, the one major thing I want to show you is how to use the mirror modifier. It's kind of nice because now you only have to do half of the vehicle. The vehicle can be anything that has something else that moves with it. So, if you want to make a boat, it needs to have a propeller. If you want to make a helicopter, obviously the propeller. So something else that will rotate on it. So if it's a car, it has to have the wheels. I also need to be able to see the wheels. So if you make a wheel and it's really smooth and it's all one color, I won't be able to tell that it's spinning. So make sure that we can see that it's spinning. So you might have to add spokes or some sort of texture that I can actually see that it's moving. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to show you is the mirror modifier. Now, for now, I just have the basic cube. I'm only going to show you on the cube. I'm going to go ahead and go into edit mode, and I'm going to subdivide this cube a couple of times. And then I'm going to go into the front, and I don't like perspective. I'm going to go into ortho. So here we have the front, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete half of it. So I'm going to hit A to deselect all of it, and then I'm going to go into wireframe, which is Z. And then I will hit B to box select only half. Okay, and then now I'm going to, you can either hit X or delete, and I'm going to hit X, and I'm going to delete the vertices, right? So now, if you'll notice, I have the box. The reason I'm doing it that way is it's just a little easier because now the center, the origin, is right in the middle there. So when I mirror it, and I'll show you how this comes in handy. Just about everything we do is symmetrical, or at least starts out symmetrical, and then you can fix things up. Even a figure, an animal, whatever, they're all symmetrical. As long as you keep everything on the X, Y, and Z to start out with, only move them at the very end when you're all done with everything, because or else it just gets too complicated. So I have this guy right here. I'm going to go to Z and get out of the wireframe. And it is a modifier. So it's this little screwdriver thing up here. It's not a screwdriver. Oh my gosh, it's a wrench. So we get the wrench. So I'm going to hit that, and I'm going to go down to mirror. All right, and we've got this modifier. Now, right now, it does it automatically to the X. Okay, but if I got rid of the X here and maybe did Y, if you'll notice, if I grab something, it will mirror it over here. Okay, and that's the same with the Z. We'll mirror it on the Z axis. Okay, we kind of wanted the X because we want it to go that way. I don't want the Z. You can have it go both ways, so you'd only have to do a quarter of it if it was, symmetrical in both ways. So now what's nice is I can create a vehicle or a face or whatever I want to create and make it, oh, I totally grabbed the wrong thing there. That's okay. And it will all be symmetrical. But notice I can't really select anything over here. I can select edges and stuff too if I wanted to. Because that doesn't really exist yet. All right. So when I'm all done, and I'm really happy, let's pretend that's a really cool vehicle. It's really not. I can then hit apply. And once I hit apply, oh, I can't do it in edit mode. Sorry, I forgot. Got to go to object mode. Right, there it is. If I hit apply, now it is an object. Okay, but now I can no longer mirror it. So if I want to do stuff, right, I can just do to one side now. Now it is an object. It no longer has the mirror applied to it. Now, if you happen to make a really cool car and it's really nice and you've already applied the modifier, but then you say, okay, I really want to add a mirror, all you have to do is delete half of it again and then remirror it. Okay, if you really wanted to, add some more stuff or whatnot. So that makes it really easy. Also, depending on where the I'm just going to put the cursor over here. Where is it? Okay, right there. So if, for example, you wanted to make a wheel, I'm going to go into edit mode. No, I'm already in edit mode. I'm going to go into object mode. Okay, I'm going to put the origin to the 3D cursor. Okay, so let's pretend I made one really cool wheel or a tire or something. I don't know, whatever. Again, I can add the mirror, and now I have two, right? So when I apply it, I now have two. Or again, you can, make four if you really need to, depending on where that center point is. And then you can hit apply, and then they're all considered one object. If you go into edit mode and you can hit, and this is how you'd separate objects that are already all together. So in object mode, they're considered one object, but we want to separate them, okay? To have them four separate objects, I mean. So I'm going to go into edit mode, like I said. I'm going to select something on the object that I want to separate. Okay, and I'm going to keep my mouse on it. So I'm going to hit L. I don't know why. Sometimes you hit it once, sometimes you have to hit it a couple times. L selects everything that is linked to that portion that I selected. So even if it's a vertex or an edge or a face. So I hit L and I selected everything that's linked. And then I have to hit P. Okay, and I separate the selection, or by material, by whatever, but right now I have that selected. So now it is separate. So now if I go to object mode, okay, I can select that separately. Now the origin is over there, and this one has the origin over here. Okay, now these are all together. So that's how you separate an object. You know, once if it's already whatever. So now I have, I can have all four tires, and I can only, I only really have to make one instead of duplicating it. The problem with duplicating it is that then it's facing the wrong way. So then you'd have to rotate it and whatnot. Of course, you can always duplicate it and rotate it. That's fine too, but this might be a little easier to do. That way it's nice and symmetrical. I also wanted to show you a few examples of some of the other vehicles. You guys should already know kind of how to do all this stuff. These were just some works done by previous students. They did go a little above and beyond, so they added quite a bit here. His was a lawnmower, which I thought was very clever. Actually, to do this, he had to do keyframes in the view or the rendering for the grass, and I can show you that as well. Here's just a helicopter. Just a helicopter. It's actually a pretty cool helicopter. Right? So again, he had the wheels move and the two propellers. Okay, make sure with the camera that you can really see everything. Don't make it so the camera's too far away or anything, so that we can kind of get an idea of what's going on. So he animated the camera as well. This one was much simpler. This is just a unicycle. Right, and he had it going backwards and forwards. I don't want you to just have two keyframes for the movement, so I want it to turn at least once. This one was, of course, this is a really great one. He added the square so I could see the tires moving. That one always cracks me up. So there you go, just a few examples of different ones that you guys can do. And I did say that I would show you, if you want something to not show up partway through an animation or to show up or whatnot, you can add keyframes, and you add the keyframes here, you say I. So I will say, I'll pretend that everything, I want to see everything at the beginning. So I'll hit, oh, here it is. I got to go over here to the outline. So that's that cube right there. So I can hit the eye and the camera. The camera means it will render. If I click on it, it means it won't render. Okay, so right now I'm going to keep it like that. I'm just going to right-click on it, insert a keyframe. Okay, and I'll do the same thing with the camera, insert a keyframe. That means I want it to show up. Okay, then here, let's pretend at, what is that, 39. Again, I want it to still show up, so I'm going to insert a keyframe, and then we'll pretend that at 40, I want it to disappear. So I'm going to click on the eye and click on the camera. So now I can't see it and it won't render. I like to do both of them because then I can see in this view what's going to happen in the render. So I always like to do both of them. So again, insert the keyframe, right click, insert the keyframe. So now if I wanted to make something appear and disappear, so here it is, normal, and then it disappears and I won't see it anymore. Okay, so that's what that other student did with the grass. He just kind of made it appear and reappear. And you can do that with a lot of things. I know that some students wanted to make, different things parented but not parented partway through. That's kind of what you want to do. You want to make two objects. I had one kid who wanted to make a robot pick up a rock. Well, we wanted the rock to be parented to the robot for half of it. So we actually made the rock be invisible for the first half, and then when he finally picked it up, that it would be visible. And then we kind of switched it with the one that was on the ground. So if that makes any sense. So just a couple of extra tools. If you guys wanted to try those out when you're using the car, you don't have to use this, but I think it's a really nice tool and it's kind of convenient. Um, and that's it. Good luck, have fun, get creative.